Welcome to the Explainer. So, let's talk about AI. Specifically, why do so many AI projects just fail to deliver? It's a huge problem. Today, we're going to dig into something called the AI maturity model. Think of it as a roadmap to get from AI hype to actual, real-world results. Okay, so let's dive right into the core problem. And I'm willing to bet a lot of you have seen this firsthand. It's this massive gap, right, between what AI promises and what it actually delivers in the real world. I mean, it seems like every company out there is pouring money into AI. You see it everywhere. But for all that investment, for all that buzz, the results, they just aren't matching the hype. It's frustrating. So what is going on here? Well, the numbers, they're pretty eye-opening. Get this, a major study from MIT Sloan found that only about 10% of organizations are actually seeing significant financial benefits from AI. Just 10%. That means for every one company that's crushing it with AI, there are 9 others that are basically spinning their wheels, not getting that return on investment they were hoping for. So, what's the deal? Why is there such a big disconnect? Well, it usually boils down to a few classic mistakes. Companies get all starry-eyed about the cool tech and totally forget about the strategy. Or they underestimate the people side of things. Or they just fail to build those basic foundational capabilities you need. And that's the real kicker. AI success isn't just about buying some fancy new software. It's about building a whole new way of working, a whole new capacity within your organization. So that begs the question, right? How are that top 10% actually getting it right? What's their secret? Well, this is exactly where something called a maturity model becomes super useful. It's basically a structured way to look at where you are and gives you a clear roadmap to get where you want to go. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a GPS for your company's AI journey. It does 3 things. First, it pinpoints your current location. You are here. Second, it helps you to find your destination. And third, it gives you the step-by-step, turn-by-turn directions to get there. It takes all the guesswork out of the equation. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. The MITRE Corporation has built one of these guides specifically for AI. It's a really well-thought-out, systematic path that basically any organization can use to navigate their way to real AI success. So this whole model, this journey, is broken down into 5 distinct levels of maturity. And as you go up each level, you're getting significantly better at actually creating value with AI. All right, so the 5 levels are initial, engaged, defined, managed, and finally, optimized. We're going to walk through this whole journey from what are usually pretty chaotic beginnings all the way up to a state where you're constantly improving. We'll hit some of the big milestones to give you a feel for it. Okay, to make this real, let's invent a company. We'll call it OrgCorp. So at level 1, OrgCorp is kind of just dipping its toes in the AI pool. There are a few random projects happening, but honestly, there's no real strategy, no direction, no bigger picture. This is what we'd call the Wild West stage. It's just scattered, uncoordinated activity. You've got these little pockets of AI experiments, but nobody at the top is really driving it. And, this is a big one, there are no common tools or processes. So every single time a new team starts a project, they have to reinvent the wheel. It's super slow, and it's almost impossible to build any real momentum. All right, let's jump ahead. We'll skip over level 2, engaged, and go right to level 3, which is defined. Now by this point, OrgCorp has gotten serious. The random experiments are over. Now there's a real company-wide strategy. And the change is huge. You now have a formal program. Things are actually written down. There's active leadership, standardized tools, and the projects aren't just random shots in the dark anymore. They're all aligned to a central plan. And that means teams can suddenly build things way more effectively, way more consistently. And then you get to the top. Level 5, optimized. This is the promised land. At this point, OrgCorp isn't just using AI, it's actually innovating with AI. It's a huge shift. The whole company is basically a learning machine now, constantly getting better at AI. Leadership is looking at the data, using metrics to make things better. Those old walls between departments, they're gone. People are sharing what works. This is the point where AI stops being a project and it just becomes part of the company's DNA. And that's where you see the maximum possible value. So you're probably wondering, how does a company like OrgCorp actually climb that ladder from level 1 to level 5? Well, the model says you have to focus on 6 fundamental areas. Think of them as the pillars holding the whole thing up.
And getting good at these is how you move up.
Okay, so look at these 6 pillars. You've got the ones you'd expect, right? Strategy, organization, data, and yeah, of course, technology. But here's what's so important. Technology is only one of the 6. It's just one piece of the puzzle. The model makes it crystal clear that you also have to nail things like responsible and ethical use and performance and application. It's this big picture, holistic view, seeing AI as more than just a tech problem, that really separates the winners from the losers.
So, what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing that really ties all of this, the levels, the pillars, together? What's the secret ingredient? Well, it comes down to this really critical finding. The most successful companies aren't trying to replace people with AI. No way. They're focused on creating a powerful partnership between humans and AI. It's about building these feedback loops where the people make the machines smarter and the machines help the people do their jobs better. It's a two-way street. And this really sums up the whole thing perfectly. Success with AI is all about a massive shift in thinking. It's moving away from just focusing on the tech and moving towards a holistic, human-centered approach that pulls in everything: your strategy, your culture, your rules. That is the absolute key to unlocking what AI can really do. So, in the end, this model really forces you to ask a pretty tough question. Is your organization just buying AI technology, or is it actually building true AI maturity? Because one path, well, that leads to the 90% who struggle and fail to see results. And the other path leads to that elite 10% who are genuinely changing the game. The only question left is, which path is your organization on?